got everybody.
All right, so we have Jenna and Owen here passing around microphones, so.
Mike, are you in charge of them? You in charge of them? What would you say? How would you term it?
Your coworkers and colleagues, they work.
And why are they doing that job and you're doing this job? Because my general feel is that they'd be better than you at this job, and they're probably better than you at that job. Come on up. Come on up, get it done. Do I know the guy up in the corner there?
Hi, Doug Russell, 97.3 The Game. Hi, Pat.
Have we met before?
Yeah, yes. A few times.
Did you have hair then?
No, I haven't had hair in 2 decades.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
Never
Serves you
had hair
well.
day.
Serves you well.
And marketing. Thanks, brother.
All right, what do you do now? What are you supposed to do?
Open the floor for questions.
Nice.
Thank you,
That's
Owen.
better than Mike would do. He'd make a big pop in circumstance, make it about himself. Oh, you getting the first? Where's Adam?
Right here, it's good.
Jesus, you're giving him the first question?
Why
I
not?
stole it. I took it from him. Murph, do you have any update on Woodruff as well as anything on your pitching plans, starting pitching plans?
We will
for-
have a Woodruff update by the end of the day.
Starting pitching plans?
Starting pitching plans for today in the inter squad. We're dealing with today. You're talking about in the postseason?
Saturday, perhaps?
I'd probably say Freddie. He's the front runner. He's the favorite. Adam, I'm so happy you're here.
Oh,
You're the mic.
thanks, Murph. What will William do this week, and is it in question his availability for Saturday?
You're not going to be able to keep William out no matter what the analysis is of that injury. He's going to play, and I'm betting on that. You might not see him today. Are these guys allowed to watch? Are we allowing them in the game? Or in the arena?
They're here again on Friday. They're here today and Friday.
So do they have to, we can let them come out there?
Today, yeah.
Did you make that decision?
It's pretty standard.
You see, we reason sometimes we don't progress because everything's like, oh, it's standard. We've done it this way for 35 years. We're going to do it again. Geez, Mike. What's the question again? Contreras?
Well, we can just build off of that. I was going to ask you, you know, you had told us the other day that he was going to be getting some imaging and everything. Is there any kind of update as far as what specifically the injury is? Is it a contusion?
Let's call it a contusion.
But no breaks, nothing.
Let's call it a contusion.
Okay.
Yeah. If it was a break, then I would call it a break. Okay? Contusion, you call it a contusion. Great, that was great. Oh, we got more?
Pat, you got a lot of guys that have been through this postseason before, but some who haven't. Can you prepare a first timer for this, or is that just they have to experience it for themselves?
No, I think you can give them insights into what it would be like. It's still baseball. It's still playing baseball, and it's still, if you let pressure, if you let the environment get you off your process, then it's going to affect you. And the quicker you can realize, oh, that's what they're talking about, and get back into it, I don't think you'll be as affected as much.
Murph, do you think it'd be fair to say that Aaron Ashby's been an unsung hero for you guys this year with what he's been able to do out of the bullpen?
Yes. He's been great and consistent.
Just when you make your decisions in terms of starting pitchers going forward for the series, how important do you take previous postseason experience? How much does that matter?
How much does,
Somebody having had postseason experience before, having done this before, how much does that matter?
no, I think it does matter, but not to the point where, if you've got a great racehorse and that racehorse is capable of winning the race, and you've got a real experienced racehorse that might not be at their best, and they're not capable of winning the race, you've got to kind of tinker with both. This one can bring you this, and this one could possibly bring you this, but you can't, if it doesn't get out of the gate, and you can't give it too big a leash, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of, I think experience is important.
Murph, we've learned so much about like the starter the third time through in an order, and now maybe the new frontier is how much you use relievers in a series. Is there a balance as a manager that, all right, I now I've got the third time through, but now it's maybe the third time they're seeing so and so out of your pen? How hard is that in this longer series that you're going to continue to give looks at your relievers?
All that's important. It comes down to matchups. There's so much more urgency to get a better matchup. And then you can do it to the point where you now have exhausted your bullpen and/or you've shown them too many looks at the same guy. So there's a fine balance there.
Pat, I don't know if you have a checklist per se for this week, but how do you approach the week? I know you've talked about this, you've talked to a lot of people in the game, and how do you make the bye work for you guys?
Right. Yeah, I think that no one will be talking about the bye after we win. You know what I'm saying? After we win, no one will say the bye was this and the bye was that. You know what I mean? If we lose, then everybody will be talking about the bye, because that's what people do. They want to have a rationale for what they believe, and I totally understand that. The way we'll use it is we limp to the finish line, in my opinion, because of our health. And they're little things. There's no sense bringing up every little single one, but there isn't anybody that couldn't have used a physical break. If we didn't get one and we had to play in the wild card, we would have dealt with it like a lot of these teams are dealing with it today. That's just part of the Major League season. But after that recoup is over, whether it's 24, 48 hours, whatever it is, now we got to ramp it up again. And ramping it up is a little bit uncomfortable, competitive. It's still not going to mirror a real game. You can pipe in the music, you can bring fans in. It's not a real game. Just like our last month of the season, it kind of ebbed and flowed into, now do you say, well, don't win as much, slow down, don't win as much, and pace it, that's ridiculous, so it is what it is. We've accomplished what we've accomplished, but now here we are, and how do we use these days effectively and not use it as an excuse? We haven't made excuses all year. We started the season with 11 of our top 13 not pitching. It was 11 of our top 15 not pitching. We didn't make an excuse. It's the facts, but we just played. And we got knocked on our butts and then got up. And all 11 weren't back. But then throughout the season, we got healthier. We got some other guys step up. The same thing goes into postseason. We're in a similar spot. There's nobody on television saying, hey, the Brewers are the odds-on favorite. Matter of fact, I saw that we were not even like the top 5. You know what I mean? Perfect. Can't win without homers. Like the team with the number of homers, are they playing in the postseason? I don't know. I don't even follow that. I know just play good winning baseball. Good things will happen. There's no well, you got to have this in order to win, or everybody be doing it. The Mets, what they try to get a combination of all that. Doesn't always work out.
Pat, I'm curious as far as what not having the bye the last several years, how you might approach this week from the standpoint of how closely you'll pay attention to the Chicago-San Diego series, knowing that you're going to get one of them on Saturday.
Right. We know both teams. You're going to pay attention to it. You're silly not to. Any information you can grab from there, who's hot, who's not, who's nursing this injury, what kind of rotation they use in terms of getting guys in and out of there. Do they pinch hit against this guy at this time of year? They didn't earlier. We'll have a lot of information. We have a scouting report, and we'll see if there's a variance to that. Both teams have such experienced players up and down their lineup, position player-wise. that sometimes a scouting report can be a little bit off based on an older guy's adjustment. So you got to kind of decipher everything you can. So you got to follow it closely.
Murph, the postseason's often a time where guys who aren't household names kind of step forward. You've talked a little bit this year about
Well, then we got a good shot then.
no one knows the names on your team. Who are some guys that you just feel, or maybe a guy that you feel really confident in? They feel like they're in a great place right now going into the postseason that is not a household name.
What do I feel great about? It's not a household name. Well, let's delineate who is a household name. Yelich.
Yelich, Churio, Terang.
Terang's a household name.
It's the Platinum Glove winner.
He just got it, crept into your households last year. You guys were debating whether I should play him or not. Yeah. All right, well, I think, Sal's gonna play well. There's no doubt in my mind. Guys like, Andrew Vaughn, Blake Perkins. I can see Blake Perkins being MVP. I can see Joey Ortiz. You know what I mean? It's that time. You know what I mean? It's about being ready pitch to pitch, and I think that, you can see, the difference in the game. You're not gonna just throw the ball down the middle to certain guys, you know what I mean, and say, oh, well, Aaron Judge is one of the best players in the game, so he'll get to do it. You don't let Aaron Judge beat you, probably. Or the kid in Seattle, the big dumpster, what do they call him? Big dumper? The big dumpster, you're not gonna let him beat you, right? If you're facing Seattle, the big dumpster's not beating me, right? So that's where other guys get a chance.
I believe your team's near the top or at the top in terms of the positive aspects of chase rate, in terms of not swinging at pitches outside the strike zone. Just how have y'all been able to kind of instill that mentality up and down the roster in terms of making the right swing decisions?
Yeah, you just play guys that do that. It's real simple. You play the guys that don't chase. If you chase, you don't play. You know what I'm saying? So the guys with the best ability to control the strike zone end up playing. That's really the secret. Then they figure out, how do I get to play? I'm like, well, don't chase, right? This is the one I've been waiting for.
I'll try not to let you down. Murph, the mantra for the last 2 years has been win tonight, ethos of the team, basically. That's basically what it comes down to in the postseason, right? So how does that philosophy and attitude help your team as you go into this? You got to win a series, but you can't until you win that first game.
Yeah. The only difference is, it's always win tonight, and we're not the only team that has that. We might pronounce it a little bit more, but I think the difference is the ramifications of not winning, so the urgency of understanding you can't take pitches off. That's what it's about, But every team gets in that win tonight mode. Yeah, we should be well practiced at it because we won more than anybody else.
Murph, as you're kind of looking at this series coming up here, it's just a few games. Every pitch, every game, every situation matters. How much of your job is orchestrating things to the point where you're putting every guy in a spot where his strengths can play the best for that particular moment? How much does that matter in a sample like this?
Yeah, I think when you're looking at it, the strengths and weaknesses of your ball club. You know how they're going to attack you, what they're going to try to take away that we do well. But because we've kind of beat teams in all different ways, I think we're not such an easy read. People are wondering still, like, well, how do we plan for this, or how do we do this? So we're not an easy matchup team. We're not much better against righties than we are against lefties. We're not a team that you can exploit defensively very easily. our pitching staff doesn't administer a lot of free bases, you know what I mean? So it's like, we're kind of a team, you know, you're kind of wondering how do we get to them, you know? And I think that's important to be that multifaceted. You can say, well, they don't hit homers. Well, then go ahead and try throwing it down the middle and see what happens, you know, like, now, I'm not saying we're the end all and we can just beat anybody. I'm just saying we're very capable and kind of hard to plan for.
We're gonna have one more question from Hunters.
Pat, we talk a lot about experience when it comes to the players. How did being in your seat in the postseason, that experience last year, help you coming into this postseason?
How did it help me personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a great experience. It ended tragically. And I think even that is a great experience. You know, like, I've talked to a ton of managers this week that are no longer in the game, that Madden, Torrey, Dusty Baker, and you know, their view on things and what they've been through and all the experiences they've had have just helped them. And I look at it the same way, like, that helped me personally, but I've been part of 22, 23 postseason games as a coach or bench coach or a manager. They all help you, but it's about being ready and being free to make decisions and make those decisions. And if they don't work, then you made a bad decision, I guess, even though you're pretty well prepared for what is probably the best decision at that time. Still, if it doesn't work out, and then you live with it and you keep going. You know, you can say after a guy doesn't cover first base, God, he shouldn't have been in the game. Everybody forgets the outs he got and, you know, how basic that play is. You know, when you don't pinch hit this guy, or you pinch hit Bowers for Hoskins last year and he hits a home run, puts us ahead, you know, nobody writes the next day after we lost, well, that was a great decision. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just part of the job. And yeah, it's just be prepared and don't worry about what they say. No offense, that's why I don't read it, you know what I mean? Because I'm critical of myself if I do something that I think, God, you know, in hindsight, I probably should have understood this part of it better. You guys have been great. It's way better in my office, and we could have fit everybody in here in the office. It's just more, it's harder, isn't it, Mike? This is kind of like you're trying to dress it up. Just go in my office, sit around. We got plenty of chairs. People can sit in the bathroom. Nobody minds. Everybody sits in the bathroom every day anyways. So what was the problem, Mike?
Thank you, Murph.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I wish